You must accept this. Aw, man, I could have just ran through him and got the Umbra. But I didn't realize. No, I didn't move. Oh, I did move. Haha. Look at me. Don't really look at me. It's weird. Well, I just ran right in his face with the blood sacrifice doodad, so it's the life we live, I guess. Sounds like a town cop. Yeah, I mean it's good and bad and everything. There are good cops, there are bad cops. Just like anything. Back-to-back fangs? Nice. The magic or the tanzanite? Well, I know it's not the Osmatanaton. Well, I guess I don't know. Y'all could be raiding behind my back for all I know. I wouldn't blame you after the performance I gave with my coworker last night, if you decide to go without me. Tans? Gotcha. $142 mediums, no rangers, 110 out of 115 slots, 92 have dupes. Jeez Louise. 50 million strength XP. Nice, 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 nice. You got 250 mils today? Your town's P has made national. Yeah, you've told us about that. I got 50 mil defense today, I'm pretty sure. That was today. Got cooking and magic, and you're up to 35 mil fishing. Nice. Dang, I was trying to cross over without losing a tick, but I'm gonna have to. Um, so Rain, I'm gonna deny that message. I'll read it out loud, but the reason I'm gonna deny it is because if I approve it, then it makes that term an allowed term, and I don't want that term allowed just in normal everyday chat. So Rain said that one of the times they made national news was they did a giant meth bust, and when there was pictures being taken outside of the trailer they raided, one of the police made white power hand signs. Not one. Oh, all 12 of them did. Okay, dang. Ah, no. I thought I could. I thought I had time to step out. I did not. Oh, I like this song. They claimed it was a funny hand sign they didn't know the meaning of. Hmm. Interesting. Gotta run AFK for like 5 minutes after the it logs out. All good. Thanks for letting me know. Oh no! He froze you like a jerk. That means dump specs. That's what I heard. Dump specs, dump specs. More Nihil shards. Um, the second time was when prisoners of the jail tricked the jailers into letting them out the front door, releasing everyone. They used peanut butter to cover the cell number signs and the exit signs. The cop that was filming today opened the front door thinking he was opening himself to the prisoners as they got back from work release. Took 2 weeks to track down all the escapees. Jeez. That wasn't like a red flag at all. Like, what is this peanut butter doing here? I actually knew a guy that escaped from the jail in my hometown. He was a friend of a friend. He was not my friend, but I actually did not like the guy. Whenever I was hanging out with my buddy and that dude showed up, I would leave usually because I did not like him. I thought he was a bad kind of dude. And yeah, he actually escaped. I'm pretty sure he like hit the cop over the back of the or the prison guard. I'm pretty sure he like hit him over the back of the head, stole his keys, and ran out. I'm pretty sure that's what happened. Never was a big fan of the guy. You can Google prisoners who use peanut butter to escape jail. Jeez. I guess I could be productive during this and maybe cut some of these gems I'm getting. I'm not going to empty my whole inventory though, because I like the setup I have, and I feel like if I do that, I'm going to mess something up. Oh, I thought I had a uncut dragon stones, but I only have already cut ones. Have you used chins for anything yet, Bruce? Dust Devils? Does it does it work with the 95% reduction? Or 95% ammo use reduction? Sorry, I said the wrong word. It didn't seem so. Dang, that sucks. Your best friend at the time in 2012 called you from jail one day. He'd been arrested for shoplifting from the Walmart he worked at. They had tracked him selling $700 worth of bacon and Pepsis over a 7-month period, enough to rack up an arrestable figure, and called the cops on him. Had just gotten to work at a job that barely paid enough to cover the gas to go to work. Laughed and told him to get fucked. He wanted you to drive an hour to where he was in jail at, get his debit card, go to the M, and get his bail posting out. Nope. I wouldn't have done it either. Um, there was so I was whenever I was in like middle school, high school, I moved to um a different area of town. Whenever I got to middle school, my family moved to a different area of town, like completely different like areas. Like I don't know what you would call them. Like I think I don't know if they're different cities. One, I think one's in the county and one's in the city. But anyway, moved into the city, I guess the best way I could say it. Whenever I got to middle school, and me and my brother made friends with the neighbor family across the street, and to this day I'm still friends with the son, and whenever his parents didn't want to live in the town, they wanted to move somewhere new, they basically worked out a deal where they didn't give the house to him, but he like paid rent. Like they rented the house to their son because he was then old enough, to be 18 plus, live on his own, all that. So they rented the house to him, and he got a couple of his friends to live there as well to help him pay the rent because they weren't gonna like. I mean, I'm sure they gave him a good price, but they weren't just gonna give it to him for free. So he needed help to pay for it. So he got like a few friends, like two friends. I think there was three of them there, maybe four, and they rented out the house together. Well, I was big into Magic the Gathering at the time, and I was big into Magic the Gathering time, and one of his roommates, I never really interacted with him too much, but he showed interest in Magic. And so he was like, "We teach me how to play," and so I taught him how to play. I like got some starter decks, taught him how to play, all this, that, and the other. And we were having a good time playing Magic. We started playing like every day, and we became friends with it, and that was pretty cool. Well, like I said, we became friends, so we started hanging out more because of the Magic. And one day, me and him went to Walmart to look at Magic cards and stuff, to like buy boosters maybe or whatever. And it was Walmart. And so we're looking at the booster packs, and I think I bought like one or two. And I don't know what his financial situation was like, but I mean, I had to be decent enough to pay for a room in the house. But we end up checking out. I bought like a couple packs. We get to the car, and I noticed he didn't buy anything. Well, we got to the car, and he pulled like a pack or two out of his pocket and went to crack them open. And I looked at him and I told him, "Dude, if you ever do that again when I'm with you, I will kick you out of the car right this second, and I will never speak to you again. I will never play Magic again. We will have nothing to do with each other. And I'm pretty sure I can convince you to not live in that house anymore because they don't want to live with a thief." And um, he seemed like he understood. Well, a little bit of like a backstory to this. I basically grew up with a bunch of potheads. I never smoked myself, but basically my entire friend group was potheads. My brother, the friends across the street, my friends on the other side of the neighborhood, all potheads. But they all knew I didn't, and they respected that. Well, this same friend, the one that stole Magic Pack whenever he was with me, I'm like sitting at the house one day, and he comes across the street, knocks on the door, and I open it. And he's like, "Hey man, are you busy?" And I was like, "Not really, just hanging out." And he goes, "Well, I have a buddy that borrowed like my PlayStation and some games for a bit, and he's done playing them. He's ready to give them back." And I was like, "All right, cool, yeah, we can do that." So I get in the car because he didn't have a car. And so I get into the car, he gets past sheet. We drive over to the house. He tells me how to get there. He's like, "Give me directions." I'd never been to this person's house before. He takes me into this neighborhood I've never been in before. I park out front. He's like, "Hey, I'll be back in a second. Just gonna get the games and stuff." I was like, "Okay, no worries." I ended up sitting there for, I mean, it wasn't like an hour, it was like 30 minutes, but I sat there for more than it would take. It was like he was having a social visit, like he was like chatting with him for a bit. I probably sat there for 10-15 minutes. And I was just like, okay, whatever. And so I finally he comes out and he sits next to me and I'm like, so where's the PlayStation and the games? And he's like, oh, he changed his mind. He's gonna keep him a little bit longer. Um, he's like, he's gonna keep him a little bit longer. He decided he wasn't ready to give it up, so I'm gonna let him keep him for a bit longer. And I was like, okay, that's weird, but sure. And so I go back to the house, and I was really close with, like I said, the son that was renting the house at that point. And we go back. I drop him off, and we drop off the house. He's like, "Hey, I'm gonna run back across the street. Maybe we can play Magic later." And I was like, "All right, yeah, cool." So I go inside by myself, and some amount of time passes. I don't know how. I hear a knock on the door, and I look, and it's the son. And I open the door, and he's like, "Hey, I've already talked to him about it. He's probably not gonna be living at my house much longer because I asked where y'all went, and he took you on a drug run. He took you to his dealer's house because he didn't have another way to get there, and was buying whatever. I don't know if it was pot or what. I didn't ask, or it was a long time ago. Maybe I was told and forgot. But yeah, there was no PlayStation. There was no games. He took me to his dealer's house to buy what he needed and lied to me about it. And so at that point, I was like, well, I have Ranger boots. Yeah. So at that point, I never had anything to do with him ever again. I was like, I'm done. Like, no, you're good. And he ended up spiraling. He ended up stealing from the son. Well, they never could prove it, but the son's stuff started disappearing. Like some money started like disappeared from like multiple, the son and one of the other roommates. And they knew it was him, but couldn't prove it. So they ended up saying like, "You're out of here," and they kicked him out of the house, and no one wanted anything to do with him. And the next time I saw him was I went to like Bojangles and I went through the drive-through and he was in the parking lot and he looked like he was struggling, like basically homeless, riding a bike around town. He asked if I could like buy him some food because he couldn't afford it. Like he looked like he was basically homeless and struggling. And it's like you had a good thing going because that house was nice that the son was. I mean, it was like a 2-story like modern home, and he just turned into a druggie. I think he got hooked on meth too, if he wasn't already, and just turned into a druggie and didn't have anywhere else to go. And I sure as hell wasn't gonna help him at that point. Anywho, that was my rant to pass the time while waiting for Mike to get back. Um, his defense was that his dad stole his paycheck every 2 weeks when he got paid. True. For the longest time, he just cashed it before leaving work and lied to his dad about how much he'd been paid so that he could keep some of it. His dad caught on to that and started demanding the pay stub, so he had started fake scanning the Pepsis and bacon he had to buy for his dad every week in order to have gas/food money. Jeez. Mike is back. Before you forget, I know you say you're done Brightest Shores for now, but the Crypt Subs just came out, and you can get winter-themed hats/Santas. And Andrew said they will never be a tam again, so it might be worth grabbing a few in case it becomes the next party hat in 20 years. That's a good point. I might do it then. I'm off work tomorrow. Also, Mike, I'm off work tomorrow, so if you're around, I'll be around all day long. Well, unless something comes up like food, a wife wants to do anything, but most of the day long. She wants to make candles at some point. She wants to do like homemade gifts for the family this year, so we're gonna like make homemade candles and a couple other things I already forgot. But so she wants me to help her make candles tomorrow at some point. But other than that, I should be around most days because I took the day off work. All right, Bruce, what's the plan? You want to be on to roughly 34 p.m. when Kev's daughter appointment and the wife has dentist appointment? Okay, no worries. Just letting you know I should be around a good amount of the day tomorrow for whenever you're around. Because I'm not Torva-ing without you. Nexing. I'm not nexing without you. Alright. Oh, no, I'm not going to go in there with my rubies in my inventory. Remind you need to bring your D-pick. Okay. And I'm not doing that to be funny. I'm doing that because maybe I'll read that chat whenever you say it. At least one more. However long it takes Bruce to get back. This is going to be the tour of a plate legs, right? No, mine. Dang it, Mike. No. See, you've jinxed it. You jinxed it. Now that's what's going to happen. How would I feel about dupe protection everywhere in league specifically? In league specifically, I would not hate it. I think I don't like it in the main game. I think like when people bring that up in the main game, I'm always like adamantly against it. But in leagues, with it being a limited time, I wouldn't be completely against it. I was actually talking to the coworker at work about this the other day. The only dupe protection idea that I've heard that I was like, maybe, because usually I'm a hard no. But there's one idea that I was like, I might could see that, maybe. And it was basically, it wasn't like a guarantee like at double the rate you get the drop or anything like that. It was like normal until you hit the drop rate, and then after you hit the drop rate it would slowly get more and more slowly the rate would get better and better the farther you got, but it would never be a 100% chance. It would just slowly get more and more easier to get. It's like how pets work. No, I don't think that's how pets work. Pets, it's like straight up 200 mil. Now it's more. That's a flat number. It's like it's this rate, and then when you hit 200 mil, it's now this rate. I like where it slowly gets more common. Like say it's like a 1 out of 512. When you hit like 513, now it's like a 1 out of 510. And then whenever you get to whenever you're at like 600, well now it's a 450. But it has to get like less pot. I want it to never be guaranteed. So kind of like how an exponential graph like tapers off or however whatever that name of that graph style is, where like never touches and it gets closer and closer. That kind of deal. Maybe it would max out at half the original. I don't understand what you mean by half the original. I'm broken. Help me! Help me! Help me! Help me! Ah! That'll work. So if it was 300, it would decrease to 1 out of 150 slow, then stop. Yeah, I could see that. No, Mike! Not the good luck boot. Now what am I supposed to do? I feel like whenever you're not here, he does crazy more damage than he usually does. Oh, I got a wolf. That's a good sign. Oh, I still had rigor on that whole time. You know, I'm not switching prayers. I'm gonna finish it with range in your honor. As a ranger. Oh, he's back in here. I didn't know you were gonna do that. It's okay that you did that. I just didn't know you were gonna do that. Run! So I was definitely about to run out of here. Okay. Um, when you were delivering pizza, there was a girl you liked a lot. They were shift manager, got along great, and spent a lot of time together in and out of work. She had a mental breakdown at one point and admitted herself to the psych ward. Didn't know I didn't click the boss. Um, you deliver a nice flower arranged to her house. The day she got back and everything, while she was gone, we started having issues with money disappearing, and the gay shift manager we had, relevant, subtly tried to hint it only happened when you closed. Even though you closed 4 out of 5 nights a week and have been doing so for over a year. I just took that like a champ. And I also missed like a champ. Uh, the girl ended up not coming back to work for a couple months, and when she finally did, the other manager that had been trying to throw you under the bus and the girl got caught in the next time ever breaking into someone's storage building. And the store manager caught on camera the game manager trying to shortchange the door when he was closing one night. Apparently, they have been breaking into building/storage units. For months, she admitted herself to the hospital because she wasn't comfortable stealing from work, too. Oh, I made it. Nice. You couldn't ever figure out why he tried to throw you under the bus, but happened right as you brought her the flowers today. Would have thought he didn't like how close we were if it was for his, if it weren't for his orientation. No telling. Maybe they were worried that you were going to convince the person to stop, like if you found out. That's just my guess. I don't know. Even though your range is it good for you to bring a dragon dagger for the water core? No, because you can one tick. If you have like, it depends on how strong. Because if you're like Drygore blowpiping with really good darts, or if you have like rune crossbow with really good bolts, you'll just have to test it and see. But it can be better if you have the right ammo and all that jazz. Because I mean, you're hitting really fast. So yeah, so it's definitely. I wouldn't just immediately dismiss. Oh my god! I wouldn't immediately. Immediately dismiss doing the doing ranged at the core. Is the Drygore supposed to be better or worse than the blowpipe? With nothing else in consideration, it is better. But if you're a tier 6 ranger, then the blowpipe is better. The only reason that the thing that makes the Drygore better is the effect on it that gives you the gives you like the Fang accuracy where it rolls twice and takes the better one. And when you have